Hello, my name is Lisa Carney, and I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Maryland in the Department of Spanish Literature.
My name is Jared Redekop. I'm an associate fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society at the University of Victoria.
I'm Travis Fink. I'm a PhD student in anthropology at Tulane University.
I'm John White, and I'm also a PhD student in anthropology at Tulane University.
My name is Alexander Rice. I'm a graduate student at Brigham Young University.
Hi, my name is Nathan Jensen. I'm an undergraduate at the University of Utah majoring in Spanish.
And we are just a few of the students who are enrolled in Tod Swanson's Long Distance Learning Kichwa course. I, like many of the other students, wouldn't even be able to take this course if it weren't for the long distance learning offered. So, in addition to me, what you're going to hear from a lot of students is the opportunity that this course provides to not only study the language, but to study it at a high level that allows us to collaborate ideas from different students who are studying different things across the nation.
It also gives me the chance to work with students from throughout the United States, from other disciplines like anthropology, botany, philosophy, linguistics, and we get to use our own perspectives and bring them together to really study not only the Kichwa language, but the cultural context in which Kichwa is spoken.
This distance learning class is a great opportunity for us to all maintain contact, more regular contact with each other, and it essentially just continues the same thing we were doing down there in Ecuador. For instance, here at BYU, I'm the only student in the whole university that's in this particular class, and as far as I know, we don't have any native Kichwa speakers anywhere around here, and it would be difficult for me to continue studying Kichwa on a regular basis because of that, because of just we don't, and there's nobody else interested in it either up here. For that reason, it's great to have the distance learning class. We can all get together, we can continue collaborating, sharing ideas, bringing our different skills to the table, and studying Kichwa.
The distance learning program helped me to continue to study Kichwa even after we left Ecuador, and it also helped me during my gap year between my undergraduate studies and my graduate studies. I was able to study Kichwa wherever I was.
And the type of interaction that Todd offers as students is really singular. It's twice a week. It goes pretty much like the whole year. Not for an Amazonian language. I don't know of any other programs that offer this type of engagement personally. I think one of the biggest selling points for me is that we get to continue to interact with our e-arena or the language learning field schools cohort. With all these individuals and professionals that we meet every summer, we get to continue bouncing ideas off of each other and engaging in the learning experience simultaneously, which is really helpful.
I think the online forum is really very successful for something like learning Kichwa because first of all, it allows a networking together of really a variety of different perspectives and different kinds of scholars. Certainly, there are not very many Kichwa speakers in Victoria, where I live, but there are a number across the continent, and being able to come together online and kind of pool our different interests and talents and so on really allows us to benefit from one another and to approach Kichwa language and culture with the advantage of being able to think things through with each other and draw on different kinds of expertise. So, for example, I come from a philosophy background, but I know there are others who are regular participants in the class who are ethnobotanists, linguistic anthropologists, and so on. And so I find I benefit tremendously from being able to draw on this network of people who are quite geographically dispersed. And I'm quite sure as well that it's helpful for others, including, I would think, new participants in the class.
Certainly, it would be amazing if we could all meet in the same room every week, and particularly with a native speaker or someone highly competent in speaking Kichwa. But with this online course, we are able to really engage with the language multiple times a week.
So like I said, first and foremost, the biggest positive aspect of this class is that without this long distance learning, most of us, including myself, wouldn't even be able to study these languages without it. I've been at school, I've been on campus, I've been at work, I've been at home. That's what's really nice is, you can tap into this class on a computer, on a mobile phone, anywhere you are, you can tap in at that time, which has been, I think, a real big help for a lot of students. But that's not the only positive aspect about the class. Sure, it's nice that we can meet, and that's important, but meeting alone isn't enough. What's also a huge pro about this class is the ability for us to tap into Tod's knowledge. He's an incredible professor, and he also brings a new aspect to the class, which you'll hear a lot of students talk about, which is, his ability to bring videos of native speakers, answer our various questions. Sometimes we'll even be in class, and he'll say, let me go check with, some native speakers real quick. So as you're about to hear from students besides myself, it's not only the meeting that matters, it's the high level of education that we receive.
I'd like to speak in support of the online Kichwa course taught by Dr. Tod Swanson. My own research is on Kichwa language oral narratives, and prior to taking this course, I had studied Kichwa from Ayacucho at a university, and I had also taken Kichwa with Dr. Swanson at the Andes Amazon Field School in Ecuador. These courses really enabled me to develop my own research interests and to begin to conduct interviews in Kichwa. But until I was taking this online course, I was really struggling every time I would return to Ecuador to really get back into speaking the language. Once I began taking this course, I found that it was much easier to get back into the swing of things when I would return to Ecuador. Found that my speaking ability was much higher each time I returned, and that my comprehension was improving really every time I had class.
I feel that the way in which the online class is set up is really quite successful, in that it allows us to mix not only real-time conversation with one another in Kichwa, but also allows us to look at materials that allows the class to build as well on periods in the summer of field work down in Ecuador. So we might, for example, in a class go over video footage of an interview with a native speaker that some of us in the class may even have had a role in producing and recording and taking part in the interview, and allowing us to go through in the context of the class, go over that material really in a guided kind of format with the help of Tod, allows us to kind of sift through that material and really think about it in a deeper way than is possible when you're just kind of keeping pace as an interview is going on. So this is really, I think, helpful in terms of going over conversations and interviews that you may have heard once or twice, but making sure you really appreciate the nuance of the language, and with so many people participating from different backgrounds and so on, the level of commentary, I think, on the interview material is really excellent.
In particular, for my master's thesis, I am looking at something that is called switch reference. It's a kind of clause chaining device. It takes several clauses and chains them together and kind of keeps track of who's doing what. It's kind of a complicated thing. It's hard for it's something we don't have in Indo-European languages or many other language families, and it's a thing that there really hasn't been too much scholarship about, or rather that there hasn't been too many studies or things looking at this particular grammatical function, especially not in the variety of Kichwa which we study in our class. The class has been great. We've gone over several hours worth of narratives, and we do a lot of translating, we do a lot of practice, we do some speaking as well, practicing our own personal skills with the language, and I enjoy it.
Tod's distance learning Kichwa course, which we've been enrolled in for the last 3 years or so, has, I think, really been instrumental in helping us advance and further our academic pursuits, I guess.
And not only this, but because Dr. Swanson takes time to really engage our own interests, we get to sort of help tailor the course to be what we want and need it to be. So that's why I think that this is an excellent course to continue to help students, not only graduate students like me, but undergraduates, to study Kichwa and to improve beyond the introductory level that a lot of universities offer into the more advanced levels that a lot of universities are unable to offer. Thank you.
The long distance learning and the ability to offer courses that wouldn't otherwise be offered, the ability to collaborate, hear from native speakers, and share our research, thoughts, and ideas, and the ability to have such a high level of education and further our knowledge makes this course a necessity for universities across the nation.